They stole 47 packages from my front porch over 6 months. 47. Everything from birthday gifts for my grandkids to my blood pressure medication. I'm a retired postal worker. I spent 30 years making sure people got their mail safely. The irony wasn't lost on me. But what my klepto neighbor Linda didn't know was that I had access to a tracking expert, a doorbell camera with crystal clear footage, and one brilliantly designed glitter bomb that would turn her entire life into a sparkly nightmare she'd never forget. My name's Robert Chen. I'm 68, retired from the Postal Service after 3 decades. Moved to Maplewood Gardens 5 years ago, a quiet HOA community in suburban Ohio. Perfect place to enjoy retirement, tend my vegetable garden, and spoil my 4 grandchildren with gifts I order online. I'm not tech savvy by nature, but my daughter taught me online shopping, and honestly, it's been a blessing. My neighbor Linda Hoffman lived 3 doors down, mid-50s, always impeccably dressed, drove a white Lexus. She'd moved in about 2 years ago. At first, she seemed friendly enough, waved at HOA meetings, complimented my tomatoes, but there was something off. She'd ask pointed questions about deliveries. Expecting something? She'd call out whenever she saw me checking my porch. I didn't think much of it initially. The neighborhood itself was lovely. Tree-lined streets, well-maintained homes, strict HOA rules about everything from mailbox colors to lawn height. Our HOA president, Margaret, ran things efficiently. Most members were retirees or young families. We had block parties, a community garden, the usual suburban harmony. The first package went missing in late March, a toy truck for my grandson's birthday. I figured the delivery driver made a mistake. It happens, even in my old profession. I filed a claim, reordered it, moved on. But then it happened again, and again. By May, I lost 6 packages. The delivery confirmations showed delivered to front porch with photo evidence. But when I check, sometimes just 30 minutes later, nothing. I started watching delivery times obsessively. I filed police reports. The officers were sympathetic, but admitted that without evidence, there was little they could do. Porch pirates are everywhere now, Officer Davis told me, shaking his head. Get a camera. It's your best shot. That's when I installed the video doorbell. Cost me $200 I hadn't budgeted for, but I needed answers. The very first day, I caught her. That Tuesday afternoon, my camera alert pinged. FedEx driver placed a package, specialty coffee beans, on my porch at 2:14 p.m. At 2:47 p.m., Linda walked up my driveway, casual as you please, looked around once, and took it. Just picked it up and walked away. My stomach dropped. My neighbor, someone I'd waved to for years. I confronted her the next morning, knocked on her door, tablet in hand with the footage ready. She opened with a smile. Robert, what a surprise. Linda, we need to talk about my package. Her expression didn't change. Package? I don't know what you mean. I showed her the video. I watched her face carefully. She barely blinked. Oh, Robert, that was addressed to me. The driver left it at the wrong house. I was just retrieving my own property. It had my name on it. Must have been a mix-up in the system. You know how these delivery companies are. She closed the door on my face. I stood there, hands trembling with frustration. I filed a police report with the video evidence. Officer Davis returned 3 days later. We talked to her. She claimed it was a mistake, that she receives packages from the same retailers and thought it was hers. Without proof of intent, we can't charge her with theft. It's a civil matter territory.
My blood pressure spiked so badly that week, my doctor increased my medication. 2 weeks later, she took another package. This time, birthday cards for my grandkids with their handmade drawings inside. When I confronted her again, she said, I didn't touch anything of yours, Robert. Maybe you should check your memory. Aren't you on blood pressure medication? Those can cause confusion. The gaslighting was surgical. I brought it up at the June HOA meeting. Margaret listened sympathetically, but Linda was prepared. She presented her own evidence, receipts from the same retailers I used, claiming ongoing confusion. I've been a victim too, she said, dabbing her eyes. Someone's been taking my packages. Maybe we're all dealing with the same thief. Several neighbors nodded. I saw doubt creep into their faces when they looked at me. Was the old postal worker losing it? My daughter Sarah visited in early July and found me keeping a handwritten log of every delivery, every missing item, every interaction. The legal pad had 47 entries. "Dad, this is affecting your health," she said, her voice tight with concern. "Your hands are shaking." "She's stealing from me, Sarah. I worked 30 years protecting people's mail. This is personal." "I know, but is it worth a heart attack?" I didn't have an answer. The community started treating me differently. Some neighbors avoided eye contact. Others offered sympathetic looks, but no help. Mrs. Patterson from next door whispered to me after church, "I believe you, Robert. I've seen her watching houses when people leave. But I can't get involved. She's on the HOA board now." That detail had slipped past me. Linda had gotten herself elected to the Architectural Review Committee in May. She had power now. She took another package in late July, my new gardening shears. $60 Japanese steel. I watched it happen on my camera in real time, but I was at a doctor's appointment. By the time I got home, they were gone. I sat on my porch that evening, watching the sunset, feeling utterly defeated. 47 packages, thousands of dollars, my reputation questioned, my health suffering. She'd won. August 3rd changed everything. My late wife's sister sent a package from Boston. Inside was Margaret's, my wife's, favorite brooch. A small silver hummingbird she'd worn every Sunday to church. Her sister had found it while cleaning out her own jewelry box, realized she'd borrowed it years ago and forgotten. She knew how much it would mean to me. The delivery confirmation came at 11:22 a.m. I was in the backyard watering tomatoes. My phone pinged with the doorbell alert. I watched Linda appear on screen 4 minutes later. She took the small box without hesitation. But this time she opened it right there on my driveway. I watched her examine the brooch, turn it over in her hands. She smiled. Not a kind smile, a satisfied, triumphant smile. Then she put it in her pocket and walked away. Something broke inside me. This wasn't about coffee beans or gardening tools anymore. This was Margaret's memory, the hummingbird she'd touched 1,000 times. The weight of it in Linda's pocket felt like theft of something sacred. I sat in my living room playing the footage over and over. My hands weren't shaking anymore. They were steady, calm. I called my daughter. "Sarah, remember your ex-boyfriend, the engineer who designed those glitter bomb packages for porch pirates?" There was a pause. "Mark? Yeah, he went viral a few years ago." "Why?" "I need his number." "Dad, she took your mother's brooch." Another pause, longer this time. When Sarah spoke again, her voice had changed. "I'll text you his contact right now." I wasn't the retired postal worker trying to keep the peace anymore. Linda had crossed a line she didn't even know existed, and she was about to learn that some lessons come covered in glitter. Mark video called me that evening. Young guy, maybe 35, with an engineering degree and a YouTube channel dedicated to catching package thieves.
"Sarah told me what happened. I'm really sorry about your wife's brooch," he said. "Let's make this count." He explained the design, a package that looked completely normal but contained a glitter bomb, fart spray mechanism, and 4 cameras that would record everything when opened, GPS tracked. Legal, since it wasn't booby-trapping property, just recording what happened to your own package. "The glitter is industrial grade," Mark explained. "Gets into everything. Clothes, carpets, car upholstery. You'll be finding it for months. And the smell? Let's just say it's memorable." "Can we make it more targeted?" I asked. We spent 2 hours planning. Mark would ship me the device disguised as a high-end package, expensive makeup, which my doorbell footage showed Linda particularly liked stealing. We'd need bait she couldn't resist. The obstacle was timing. We needed her to take it quickly, before any actual delivery might confuse things. How do we guarantee she takes the bait? Mark asked. I thought about her patterns. She watched my deliveries obsessively. She knew my schedule. I'll create the opportunity, I said. Every Thursday, I have a standing doctor's appointment at 2 p.m. I'm gone for exactly 90 minutes. She knows this. If a package arrives during that window, she always takes it. Mark nodded. Okay, we schedule delivery for next Thursday, 2:15 p.m. You'll be at your appointment with a solid alibi. Is this legal? I asked. The postal worker in me needed certainty. Completely. You're tracking your own property, recording what happens to it. The glitter and smell are harmless pranks. No permanent damage, no injury risk. Worst case, it's a civil dispute. But since she's been stealing your packages, you have documentation of the pattern. Wednesday night, I barely slept. Part of me, the part that had spent 30 years following rules and regulations, questioned everything. Was I stooping to her level? But then I'd picture her smile as she pocketed Margaret's brooch. No, this was justice. Thursday morning, the package arrived early. Mark had outdone himself. Luxury cosmetics branding, realistic weight, expensive-looking wrapping. I placed it prominently on my porch at 1:45 p.m., made a show of leaving for my appointment, and drove away. My phone was connected to Mark's monitoring system. He'd watch everything remotely and record. All I had to do was wait. At the doctor's office, sitting in the waiting room, my phone buzzed. Mark's text. She took it. 18 minutes. You're not going to believe this. I waited until I got home to watch the footage. Mark had sent me the compilation. All 4 internal cameras synced perfectly. The video started with Linda approaching my porch at 2:18 p.m. She looked around carefully, left, right, behind her, then picked up the package with practice ease. She was smiling. But instead of taking it to her house like usual, she walked to her car, got in the driver's seat, set the package on her passenger seat. Oh no, I whispered. If she opened it in her car... She did. The camera caught her face perfectly as she tore the wrapping. The moment she opened the box, the mechanism triggered. The glitter explosion was spectacular. Fine holographic glitter in pink, purple, and silver erupted like a volcano. It covered her face, her hair, her expensive cream-colored sweater. The interior cameras showed it coating her leather seats, dashboard, even the steering wheel. Her scream was piercing. What the? Then the fart spray deployed. Linda's face went from shock to absolute horror. She started gagging, frantically trying to open the car door, but her glitter-covered hands kept slipping on the handle. When she finally got it open, she practically fell out onto her own driveway, covered head to toe in sparkling, stinking evidence. Mrs. Patterson happened to be walking her dog. The footage caught her stopping, staring. Linda looked up, glitter falling from her hair like fairy dust. This isn't... Someone sent me... Isn't that Robert's package? Mrs. Patterson asked, her voice icy. No, it's mine. There was a... But Mrs. Patterson was already walking away, pulling out her phone. The video continued. Linda stumbled into her house. The cameras kept recording for another 30 minutes. Protocol Mark had built in. We could hear her shouting inside, running water, the sound of frantic vacuuming. When she emerged, still covered in glitter despite obvious shower attempts, she marched to my house. My doorbell camera caught this part. She pounded on my door, but I wasn't home yet, still at the doctor's. I know this was you, she screamed at my door, glitter literally flying off of her with each gesture. This is assault. I'm calling the police. And she did. Officer Davis arrived 30 minutes later. By that time, I was home. I invited him in, showed him everything. 6 months of footage documenting her thefts, the police reports I'd filed, the video of her taking today's package. She opened your package in her car? Davis asked, rewatching the glitter bomb deployment. My property, which she stole, I was tracking it with cameras to see who kept taking my deliveries. Davis tried very hard not to smile. And the glitter? Packing material. Gotta protect fragile items. Linda was charged with 47 counts of mail theft. The footage I'd compiled, combined with the glitter bomb video showing her clear consciousness of guilt, made the prosecutor's case airtight. She took a plea deal, restitution for everything she'd stolen, 18 months probation, 200 hours community service, and a permanent criminal record. The HOA board asked for her resignation immediately. Her house went up for sale in October. I saw her loading boxes into a moving truck, still finding glitter in her hair. She wouldn't look at me. Mrs. Patterson organized a neighborhood apology. 17 neighbors signed the card. Margaret, the HOA president, personally came to my door. "We should have believed you, Robert. I'm sorry." The vindication felt good, but what felt better was the change. The neighborhood established a package watch program. People looked out for each other. The community felt safer, more connected. My health improved too. My blood pressure dropped back to normal levels within a month. The anxiety that had been eating at me dissolved. I never got Margaret's brooch back. Linda claimed she'd already sold it online to an untraceable buyer. That hurt. But my sister-in-law sent me photos of Margaret wearing it. Memories I hadn't seen before. In a way, those pictures became more precious than the original. My daughter framed one of the glitter bomb screenshots. Linda's shocked face covered in sparkles. It's in my office now. Not out of cruelty, but as a reminder. Sometimes standing up for yourself, even when everyone doubts you, is worth the fight. The packages come safely now. I've received 42 deliveries since August without a single problem. And occasionally, on sunny days, I still find a piece of holographic glitter on my porch. Evidence of justice served. Looking back, I learned something important. Being kind doesn't mean being a doormat. For months, I tried to be reasonable, to give Linda the benefit of the doubt, to handle things properly. But some people mistake kindness for weakness. Margaret used to tell me, stand up for what's right, but do it with grace. I think she'd have appreciated the irony of glitter as justice. Beautiful, persistent, impossible to ignore, and ultimately harmless, but unforgettable. The postal worker in me still believes in rules and proper procedures. I followed every legal step. But sometimes, justice needs a little creativity, a little sparkle. If my story resonated with you, if you've ever felt dismissed when you knew you were right, or struggled against someone who seemed untouchable, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this tale of sparkling revenge, consider subscribing to the channel. There are more stories where this came from, and each one reminds us that standing up for ourselves isn't just okay, sometimes it's necessary. Justice served, glitter included.